It's 7:07. I'm Daedalus Howell. Today is a great day. We have Richard Lopez. He's the founder of Double Punches Boxing Club in the house tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, and thanks for taking care of Juan on the way in. He was causing me a lot of trouble, so I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, he's pretty sharp. He can learn how to duck. He trained there. He's been at the gym several times, so he knows what to do. When he sees me, go, oh, here he is.
Boxing is such a fascinating sport, and it's got such an interesting history, and it's changed throughout the years. How has boxing changed since you've been involved with it?
It's changed a lot. In the pro, it's changed dramatically, a whole lot. Different than when I used to box. When I was younger and I used to follow boxing. When I was younger, back, I guess that they changed. It used to be 15 rounds for a championship fight. Today it's 12 rounds. So in the pros, a lot of it has completely changed. In the amateurs, there's changes that have occurred throughout the years. This year, they're in the Olympics. They're talking about now, wearing headgears. There's a lot of changes in the boxing.
Wait, not wearing headgear?
Headgears in the World Olympics. That's what they're talking about.
Okay.
And I'm against that. I like headgears. It's more safety for the youth. And I just follow only the top boxers that are well known. It's hard to follow all the beginner boxers. Yeah. There's so many of them out there now.
So many. You see these posters for independent events and all that kind of stuff, and you're like, there's a lot of activity.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So let's talk about Double Punches. You established it as a nonprofit almost more than 20 years ago.
Yes.
And what was the impetus behind it? Why boxing? And
myself, I boxed for 12 years. I started boxing when I was 9 years old, and I quit boxing in 1975. And I was a young kid in trouble.
Okay.
And there was a coach that reached out to me out of Cloverdale, and a minister. And one of them was talking about spiritual things to me, and the other one was talking to me about physical workout, keeping your mind clear, boxing, focusing, having a structure. And I combined both of them together in my life, and a young man growing up without a father. My father left when I was 9 years old. And I tell a lot of the young kids today, I don't know how it is to have a father. I don't know how it is for a father to tell you, hey, let's go to a baseball game. Even to this day, I don't know that because my father passed away. And even though I'm an older man today, I still long for something like that in my life. So these two men became mentors in my life. They encouraged me. And yet I took some of it in, but yet I wanted to make my own things. I wanted to be my own man.
You have to find your own path.
Yes. So I went through a lot of troubles, getting involved in drugs and in gangs. And as I grew up, I always took the sound advice that they gave me, stuck inside of me. So when I needed some kind of, guidance, I would think about what they told me. And it just started helping me as I started getting older. And one day, to make a long story short, after I got my life together, away from drugs and everything, I wanted to do something. And after I got married, me and my wife, we were living on Putley Avenue here in Santa Rosa off of College Avenue. In 1990, there was a shooting in the Roseland area. And I always been involved in outreach. I wanted to reach out to the youth and wanted to do something to help them get away from drugs and gangs. And I didn't know how to do that because I dropped out of school in the 10th grade. I wasn't educated. I go, I'm nobody, I'm nothing. I don't know what to do. And one day I went to a friend of mine, her name was, she worked for the Chamber of Commerce, Stella, and I told her, somebody needs to do something. These young kids are killing each other. Somebody needs to do something. So I went around telling everybody to do something. And one day she told me, how come you don't do something? I go, me? I'm nobody. I can't do anything. I don't know what to do. I'm not even educated. I didn't even go to college. But I thought of what those men did. They deposited something inside of me. And what I did, I combined that together, and I got this spiritual thing. They told me, you got to do something that gets their attention. And I go, what gets their attention? So I pound that for a while, and then finally I said, oh, boxing. So one day I opened up my garage. I put a speed bag up. I put a punching bag up. And I told my wife, I'm going to start a boxing club. She thought I was crazy.
In the garage?
In the garage. Right off on college, 2-car garage. I told her, I'm going to start a boxing club. She goes, okay, whatever. She went along with me. She goes, okay, he's thinking of doing something here today. Tomorrow he's going to think about maybe going fishing or playing baseball.
What were you doing at the time? Were you working somewhere? Or what?
I was working for the city of Santa Rosa.
So but you made the time?
Yes.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah. So I was working, as I was working after work, I would make time, and in my garage, I started training. I started hitting the bags, and kids in the neighborhood started coming. And
You just leave the garage open so they'd see it and they're like,
yes. But then what I did, I needed equipment. I needed jump ropes, boxing gloves, headgears, and my wife said, you know, we would have a little conflict. She goes, you know what? I need clothes for the kids, and you want to buy this. So there was a conflict. You know, we were constantly arguing. Okay, all right. So I started saving up, buying little things, and then one day this man named Philip Grzee came over, and he gave me $500 worth of equipment. I go, what? He goes, I want you to train my son. My son got in trouble, and I want you to train him. So I trained his son.
Was he like a local businessman?
Yeah,
or something,
yeah.
or?
He was a local. He was a man that wanted to make a difference in the community also too. He was retired.
He had this kid who was in trouble.
That was in trouble.
Yeah.
So his son came. I trained him, and he made it second in the Golden Glove.
Wow.
And then from that day on, I said, oh, maybe it is my calling to do something like this. So what I did, I made over 1,000 flyers.
Yeah.
I passed them out all over the neighborhood. Free boxing lessons. And I thought I was going to get, nobody came. I go, what the heck? Nobody came, free boxing lessons. And I go, maybe they think I don't know how to box. Maybe they think I'm not a good trainer. But I needed more equipment. I couldn't stay where I was at. I knew sooner or later I'm going to have to get out of that garage because already the neighborhood kids were coming.
Well, if nobody came, how did you keep going? I mean,
well, what happened, I put a price on it. I put boxing lessons for $20. As soon as I put that, people came out of the woodwork.
Perception of value. They saw
they saw
something.
value, and I could not handle all the people that were coming, plus the kids in the neighborhood. So the garage, we outgrew the garage. So I ended up moving. Not that I wanted a bigger garage. I ended up moving to a 3-car garage. We outgrew that, but I was in that garage for about 7 years, and it outgrew it. There was constantly cars all over the neighborhood. People started complaining.
Yeah.
Police would come over and say, he must be selling drugs. He has too many people there. So they came in. I trained the sheriff department. They won 2 gold medals and a bronze medal.
You trained the sheriff's department?
Yes, in the sheriff's summer games. So they participated with the youth.
I got to pause. You got to walk me through that relationship. So first they're coming over because there's complaints or they think you're dealing or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it turns out you train them.
I ended up training
How
them.
did that first conversation occur?
Well, I had a ring in my garage. And when they saw that I was legit, I had a ring and everything. There were some guys that wanted to compete for the Sheriff Summer Games in nationals in down south.
Yeah.
And they ended up winning a gold medal and a silver medal, and we created a relationship how they were relating with the kids.
What a way to turn
This
it
was
around.
way back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And 90s. And after that, people were complaining about the garage. The county came in and they shut me down. But it was I look at that as a blessing because it forced me to get out of the garage into a building.
Right, take it up a level.
Yeah, so then I moved over to Standish Avenue. We were in a little warehouse there, and we outgrew that.
Wow.
And from right there, the Salvation Army, there was a captain named Rasmussen came over, and he heard about us, and he says, hey, I have a big warehouse that we have over here on Stony Circle. Want to come and look at it, see if you want to rent it, or we can work something out.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't know, I like it right here.
Get your own thing going, yeah.
So when the landlord wanted to raise the rent on us, I came to the decision where I can't afford the rent anymore because it was too high. It was $1,700 a month, and paying less, and then you got to pay the utilities, the water. I can't afford it. It's almost over $2,000.
Yeah.
And we weren't getting enough donations to keep it going, so a lot of it was coming out of my pocket. There was friction with me and my wife. She would say, hey, how about our vacation? You're paying the rent, our vacation, our kids need clothes. And I thought, well, I have all these other kids too.
Yeah.
So I had to make a decision, and I went in, I saw the building, I liked it, but I had to come to the place where I had to let go.
We'll come back to that in a second.
Yes.
We're talking with Richard Lopez. He's the founder of Double Punches Boxing Club. This is 707.
Stuff I do here, and it's fun. I recommend this poem to other people because it helped me a lot, and I know that they're out there like going our own places and helping other people out. I really recommend everybody else to come here and have fun.
My name is Judith Garcia. I'm 16 years old and I go to Montgomery High School. The way that Double Punches has been helping me is by helping me in my homework and tutoring and showing me what to do, what's right, and being able to talk to them when I'm home. And that's me.
And we're back with Richard Lopez. He's the founder of Double Punches Boxing Club. We left off in kind of a cliffhanger. You had just created a relationship with the Salvation Army, and you were moving your club from one location to this warehouse they have. But let's kind of pick up where we left off there.
Well, when the Salvation Army came and asked me if I would move into the warehouse, I was already at a point where I was going to close down completely because I couldn't afford the rent anymore.
Wow.
And they came. It was a blessing because they came at the right time. And at that time, I had to make a decision. Do I want to continue to do what I'm doing? Here's my spot right here to just stop completely, and then, or
you could have got to
else-
clean out. You could
Yeah.
have you
it
gave,
would
you're
have
done.
get done. But I thought back when there was a young man that I was training for the Olympics in Greece, Enrique Gutierrez, and one day he was 16 years old. We were getting ready to go to the Nationals to Marquette, Michigan. That day he got dropped off at the gym. His friend dropped him off. After his friend left the gym, he got killed on 9th Street. They shot him on 9th Street. And when his friend got killed, that really touched my heart. He goes, I can't stop. I got to keep going.
Wow.
So I told my wife, you know what? If Enrique would not have been in the gym, he would have got shot also too.
Right.
He would have got killed. That he would have gone with that young kid and got shot. And it really hit us really, really hard because, you know, when he went to Olympics, he kept thinking about it, driving, you know, as we went to the airport, as we were on the plane, I can't believe, because we had to leave the following week.
Wow.
And I told him, hey, you know what, just calm down. When you come back, you know, everything's going to be better.
Yeah.
His family's going to be all right. You know, things are going to smooth out. So after that, I made the decision that I'm going to go ahead and go under Salvation Army. And, you know, doing this for 20 years, you know, getting our logo, doing all the hard work, the groundwork, it was
this
hard.
was yours, yeah.
Yeah, I had to kind of humble myself. And, you know, I got this spiritual word that came to me. It doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the people. And when I got that, I go, this is right, Double Punch, it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the people. And then when I understood that, I was able to let go. I was able to let go and come under Salvation Army. We did a pilot program for them for 2 years. They like us. We were in the same goal, doing the same thing, reaching out to the community, reaching out to the kids, you know, trying to get the kids to come into the program and be part of Salvation Army. We can give them spiritual help, give them guidance and direction, give them a structure, because a lot of kids today need a structure.
Yeah.
And the reason why I feel we're being effective, because I can relate to a lot of these kids that don't have fathers.
Right.
And you know, coming from that background, I was able to let them know, hey, you know, coming in, you know, they want to be part of something. Come and be part of what we're doing here.
Well, let's rewind to when you were that kid, right? What kind of trouble were you getting in? What were you doing?
Well, I grew up in Los Angeles. I was born in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And from Texas, we ended up moving to Los Angeles. And when I was 9 years old, I remember a little bit about my father. So when I was 9 years old, I had to I grew up fast. I started hanging around with younger kids than me, and I started seeing what they were doing. And one of the problems that I was running into when I was 9 years old, I learned to steal, because we didn't have any. I have 12 siblings.
Wow.
I got 4 sisters, and I got 6 brothers. There's 12 of us all together in the family.
Yeah.
And being one of the third oldest one, I needed to get something from my younger brothers. So as I was growing up, I started learning how to steal, and that was my problem. Not getting so much in gangs, but I learned to fight. When I wanted something, I needed to fight to get what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then one day I went into a gym, and being out in the street thinking I knew how to fight, I went into the gym, I realized I didn't know how to fight, because there was a bully there that I used to see at school. He ended up beating me up, and I go, wow, you know, this guy beat me up, you know. So I didn't want to go to that gym anymore. So I went back again, and the coach saw me, and he says, I'm going to show you some moves. So he put me in there, and when I turned around, there was a guy that always beats me up in school, the bully. So I told him, no, I don't want to do this guy. You know, I already know what he could do. So he got there. What happened? He beat me up in the ring. Not only did he beat me up in school, he beat me up in the ring. So I went back to the gym again, and I started listening. I started training.
Yeah, I mean, did that light a fire in you?
Yeah,
or?
that lit a fire in me.
Because I think a lot of guys at that point would say, just cut bait, come back.
No, I went back, I started training, and then what happened, I get into the ring, and I turn back around. After he put the headgear on me, I turn facing my opponent, who it is, the guy that beats me up all the time.
Did you ever beat that dude?
Well, this is what happened. My coach was telling me, all I want you to do is throw left and right, left and right, left and right. And he goes, like a train, you know, the wheels go around, just go like this, like this.
Yeah.
So what happened, I saw the bully coming towards me, and he was skilled. He was he can hit hard, because he knocked me down a couple times. So as soon as the bell rang, I ran up to him, and I just go, ta 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 ta, and he fell down. I'm on top of him, go ta ta ta, and they had to pull me off. After that day, he left me alone. He never bothered me again. And
that's always how it works, right?
Yeah. You know, he never bothered me again. And I started training. I started doing good. As an amateur, I won 12 fights, 12 amateur fights. I'm the Northern Golden Glove champion of California. I'm the state Oregon Golden Glove champion of Oregon. And, boxing, I did that, and I was going to turn professional, and then I got mixed up in drugs. I started thinking that I can make money selling drugs, so I started selling drugs. How does that
start? I mean, you're on a roll, and then how do drugs get into your life?
I started hanging around with the wrong guys. Guys would take, I would go riding around with my friends, and then I started smoking the weed, started drinking with them. And one guy started telling me, I sell this, this is how much I make, and I wasn't working. My mom was, she was on welfare. We're getting food stamps. We're always getting this free food. People would bring us food on Thanksgiving, and up here up north, I didn't want to do what I was doing in LA. Right. That's why I got sent up here to up north. My aunt went to LA and brought me up here, so I wouldn't go into juvenile hall.
Right.
So they brought me up here. From being in LA, I would shoe shine, I would do whatever I need to do to survive. But when I come up here, I had to work the prune fields, I had to pick up grapes, walnuts, apples, pears. Yeah. And this kind of job was hard for me. And I told him, I can't do this. Take me downtown, I know how to shoe shine.
Right, but up urban environment. Yeah.
But here in this town, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing the labor work that everybody else was doing. But boxing always kept me focused. I always, I always wanted to be in good shape. And then when I met those two coaches, they started ministering to me. They started coaching me. They started telling me, hey, you can do something with this sport.
You've touched on the spiritual aspect of it a couple of times, and there's a clarity that seems to come to you on occasion, almost like a voice, right? Where does that come from?
Well, I tell the boxers today, you have to work out physically, and you have to work out mentally. Because if you have a mental sound mind, you know what you want, you can make healthy choices. And when you feel good physically, you feel strong. But there's something that's missing, and that's the spiritual part. You see that scale that we have that has a big bar in the middle. They have plates on both sides.
Right.
Here's your physical, here's your mental, your spiritual is in the middle. It keeps you balanced. And I tell everybody, what has helped me is my spiritual. I felt that my potential can only go so far, but as soon as I get into the spiritual realm, it stretches me beyond my potential. I'm able to see more than what I can see when I try to use my own intellect.
Is it like a religion, or is it a personal spirituality? Or?
It's a spiritual reality with Christ. I really feel that has helped me throughout the years, and I've been doing that throughout the years, and I feel I put my success. That has caused my success. It's not about me. It's about my spiritual life. I have a friend who just recently passed away. His name is Jimmy Torres. We were working together in the city, and he tells me, "Hey, what do you want to be known for?" And he thought I was going to say I want to be known as a big coach or big boxer or something. I told him, no, not that. And I told, what do you want to be known for? And he goes, I want to be known for a man of God. And I told him, you know what, Jimmy, you're right. If I'm going to be known for something, not my skills, not what I have done, I want to be known for a man of God. I got trained when I was working in my other job. They trained us so good that if I want, I can open my own Roto-Rooter business, because I got trained that well in the work I was doing. But it's not so much about the skills that you do. You want to leave a legacy behind. And if I can leave something to my kids, I want to leave that you know what, I was a man of God. I tried to do something in the community, not just out of self, but something more, something that kids can really take. And I feel a lot of the kids that they can see that I'm walking it, talking it. I'm not just doing it. That when they see me, what shows up, they can see that I'm for real. The kids want to see somebody that's transparent today. And I feel that when they see that, when I tell them I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take drugs, they can see that I'm for reals, that you can be successful. You don't need to be in the gangs. You don't need to be doing the drugs. You can do it. You can make something out of yourself. The sky's the limit, but you got to give God a chance first, not to sound religious, but that's what has helped me throughout the years.
We're talking with Richard Lopez. He's the founder of Double Punches Boxing Club. It's 7:07. We'll be right back.
My name is Nayeli Rizzo Lopez. I'm 16 years old and I go to Montgomery High School. I've never done like any martial arts sports before. Boxing's like a huge like coping mechanism for me. Like this is like my happy place. It really has like taken a huge part in my life. It just helps me kind of realize that like you're not really alone, and there's people that also kind of like have problems to this day. I want to like in the future hopefully work with like kids that are just kind of troubled and major in psychology.
We're back on 707 talking with Richard Lopez, the founder of Double Punches Boxing Club. Great last segment there, and during the break we're talking about when you opened up, how you had to get the attention of the kids in the neighborhood and all that. How did you do that? What?
Well, you have to get their attention. Kids are looking for something, and I noticed that boxing gets their attention. And I tell everybody, we're more than just boxing. We promote self-esteem, social responsibility, and character. So when the boxing gets their attention, they come in, they do the workout, but our focus is for them to have a change of heart.
Right.
Because when they have a change of heart, their character changes. So when they go back to school or back into the community, they see a character change. They see something that has surfaced that's expressing itself. It's not the same kid that they knew before. They see a change.
And people react to that kid differently.
Yes.
And it's a feed loop that continues.
Yeah. And that's what we do. The boxing gets their attention. They come in. We're able to work with them. You know, a lot of them share things with us. You know, I don't get along with my father or stuff. And when they start working out, now we're seeing the parents engaging with their son. They want to come and see their son do the workout. When we have a show, a boxing show, they want to come and see their cousins come out. Their whole, even their grandparents come out to see the young student get involved in the sport of boxing.
And they become proud.
And they become
have
proud.
Something.
Yes.
Do you ever feel that in some ways you are a father figure to these guys?
Well, I don't try to take a place of a father.
Right.
But my job as a coach, I want to encourage them to build the relationship with a father. But sometimes I see that I'm like a big brother to them. And sometimes I feel that they want to see me as a father, and I tell them, you have a father. You have a father, and you have to answer to your father. And he goes, here, I just want to help you.
Right.
But some of them, I do see me like that. But I try to let them know that you have a father, and try to build your relationship with your father, because once again, I tell them, I don't know how it is to have that.
Right.
And yet I'm 62 years old today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. And not today, but in May, I'm sorry. That's just my expression. Yeah. No, but as the old as I am today, I still long for that voice to say, let's go to the baseball game. You know what I'm saying? And me missing that, I know how a young kid, when he doesn't have a relationship with his father, they want that pat in the back. They really, really want that.
Yeah.
You know, we have young girls also too. The young girls also long for their fathers and long for their mothers. You know, what I'm seeing right now in this time right now, there's a lack of fathers. There's a lack of fathers. We need fathers to engage with their kids and you know, hug their kids, tell the kids, hey, I love you. And that's all they're looking for, because the kids want to belong to something.
Right.
And if they want to belong to a club, how much more do they want to belong to their families? You see what I'm saying? They want to belong to something, so they need to know that their family's there for them.
And if they don't have that nucleus, they can attach to the wrong thing and belong to the wrong thing. You mentioned the girls, so that's awesome. I didn't realize there was a girls boxing club as well. When did you guys start that?
Well, we always had it open for girls.
Okay.
And right now in Los Angeles, the boxing workout is really popular for the young girls and for the ladies. If you look on the internet, you're going to see that there's a lot of women doing the boxing workout, because they're doing it to stay fit.
Right.
The workout is a really good workout. And the other thing that they like about it, they're learning self-defense.
Right.
Not to go out and be bullied out in the neighborhood, but to be, you know, they know they can handle themselves
And
in
feel confident.
time. Yes.
Yeah. And any rising stars you want to shout out?
Well, right now we have two young girls. We have a young girl named Judith Garcia and Doris Picasso. Those are the two young girls right now in our gym right now that are doing really good. We had a young girl that was training as an amateur, and then she became a professional.
Wow.
Her name was Russell, and she did really good as a professional.
Sounds like
Cesaria
you have
Russell.
a lot of success stories coming out.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of young kids. I was sharing with Juan that there was a young kid that was 12 years old, Mike Russell.
Yeah.
And he's still with us. He still trains with us. Today he's 22 years old, and he works at the Golden Gate Bridge.
That's
you know,
great.
driving that big old yellow truck that they call it the zipper.
Zipper, yeah.
Yeah, he drives that.
great.
But see, here's a young man that we could have lost
Yeah.
to gang violence or even out in the community and drugs or in other things. There's a lot of successful stories that we have. We have like this young girl Judith. Her goal is to become a police officer.
Yeah.
You know, and these young kids, their goals are aim high.
Right.
Before they came in, you ask them, what do you want to do? They didn't have a clue. They go, I don't know. Today you ask them what they want to do. They know what they want to do. What their goal is.
Do you feel the gang violence in Santa Rosa is getting worse or better?
I think right now the gang violence in Santa Rosa, it's at a place where it's kind of hard to measure it sometimes, because sometimes you get an incident that when something happens, it escalates pretty fast.
Right.
But when it's settled, it's calm. You know, it's up and down, but it's at a place where I can say that, you know, we think there's not that problem. We do have a problem.
We do have a problem.
We do have a problem.
You are doing extraordinary work, and to echo your friend, what do you want to be remembered for?
Well, I want to be remembered for somebody that's trying to make a difference in the community, and as a man of God.
Yeah.
You know, we're right now. I'm working with. I'm part of the partnership with the city of Santa Rosa. It's called Save the Day.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a lot of events throughout the city of Santa Rosa. It starts on a Friday all the way through Saturday, and it's going to start September 9th, September 16th, and it goes on all that week. And September 18th, we're going to be at the mall.
That's great.
We're going to showcase some of our kids at the downtown mall.
You're like going to bring a ring down there?
Yeah, we're going to put a ring there, and we're going to showcase our kids. We're going to be doing parks at Herm. We're going to do a talent show at Herm Park. We're going to be in South Park. We're going to do a conference, and we're going to do a little small conference for parents to let them know how to identify if their kids are on gangs.
Yeah.
It's a really good thing that week that's going to be going on. So if people can come out and be part of that and see what's going on here in our city, how our city is trying to make a difference in our communities.
That's huge, man. Richard Lopez, founder of Double Punches Boxing Club. Thank you for coming in. Come back,
Thank
please.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.